In the middle of big cities that once showed the American dream, even police are now afraid to go. This is no longer a warning, the crisis is already here. It's not happening in faraway places. It's happening in the richest and biggest cities in America. When streets become homeless camps, something is wrong. When subway stations become places to sleep, something is broken. When justice can only watch and not act, the truth is clear. A truth we have ignored for too long. In this video, we will talk about the 10 biggest cities in the US, not to show tall buildings or bright lights, but to show the dark and hidden places. Places some call no-go zones, where police only come if someone is hurt. Where hope is lost under trash and sadness. You won't believe what's happening in the first city where even the law has given up. This video is not to blame anyone. It's to help people understand what's really happening. So stay with us till the end. What you see may shock you. Let's begin. The most expensive city in the US is San Francisco. Renting a small room can cost over $3,000 a month. But on the same streets, people sleep on the sidewalks, right next to rich tech companies. San Francisco was once a city of hope. It had the Golden Gate Bridge, tech startups, and freedom. But only a few blocks away, in a place called Tenderloin, the dream disappears. Tenderloin is full of pain and struggle. Every day, people see sad and scary things. A man crying in the street. A woman passed out near a billboard. Medical waste lying on the ground. The sound of music is gone. Now you only hear strange and scary noises at night. In 2023, about 7,000 people were homeless in San Francisco. Almost 40% of them once had good jobs. A retired couple who lived near Tenderloin said, "We used to take our grandchild to the park. Now we keep the windows closed and never go out after 6 p.m. What about you? Do you feel safe walking downtown after dark? Have you ever been to San Francisco? What changes did you see? Even the police feel scared to go into Tenderloin." One officer said, "We only go in if someone is hurt, and we always go in pairs. If police are afraid, what can regular people do?" Right now, Tenderloin feels like a place with no law, where justice stays outside, and no one takes responsibility. The saddest part is we are getting used to it. When we see suffering every day, we start to feel nothing. But not all hope is lost. Some volunteers bring warm food to the homeless every night. People like you are keeping the heart of the city alive. If you think Tenderloin is bad, wait until you hear about Skid Row. Even police call it a separate nation. Los Angeles was once a city of dreams, with Malibu Beach, movie stars, and the Walk of Fame. But just a few streets away is Skid Row. And it may make you forget you're in the US. From the red carpet to dirty sidewalks, it's only 1 block away. In 2023, over 75,000 homeless people were living in Los Angeles. Skid Row is the largest homeless area. It looks like a small city made of tents. Every morning, people line up for food. Some never wake up after cold nights on the street. The most shocking thing? Skid Row has its own community security team. Because police do not come often. It's too dangerous. Can a lawless place really exist in one of the world's most famous cities? People who live near Skid Row have changed their lives. No more evening walks. No more kids playing outside. They fear the problems will spread. Have you ever been to Los Angeles? What were your memories? Would you still want to visit? If a city as rich as LA can't fix this problem, what about smaller cities? Maybe homelessness is not just a city problem. Maybe the whole system is broken. But even in Skid Row, there is still hope. A 72-year-old man gives out free showers, haircuts, and clothes every week. It may be a small light, but it keeps hope alive. Skid Row is where many have lost hope. But in the next city, the problem is not quiet. It screams in the streets. It has shut down the whole downtown. That city is Portland. Once called a peaceful paradise. Now some call it the zombie city. It's hard to believe this is the same Portland. It was once the cleanest, greenest, most livable city in America. It had trees, bikes, and friendly neighbors. Now, people in downtown Portland avoid eye contact. They walk quickly past strangers talking to themselves. Portland feels like a city that has lost control. A grandmother in the Pearl District said, "I used to walk my grandchild every morning. Now we only walk in the hallway." People in Portland worry for their children. They grow up in fear and confusion. From 2022 to 2025, homelessness in Portland rose by over 50%. About 80% of homeless people have no shelter. You can see tents in the middle of the road. Or a woman shaking in a sleeping bag at a bus stop. You hear strange screams at night. It feels like a scary movie. In 2024, over 2,600 businesses left downtown Portland. Not just because of money, but because people were too afraid to come. When businesses leave, jobs disappear. And so does hope. Are we now accepting things that should never be normal? Are we closing our eyes and making things worse? When a whole city stops caring, the most helpless people become invisible. And slowly, the city loses its soul. Have you ever been to Portland? Has your view of the city changed in the past 5 or 10 years? What do you think could save it? Tell us in the comments. Before we go to the next city, take a deep breath. It's a city where more than 60,000 people are homeless. And where even the police say, "This is not our territory anymore." What you're about to see in Seattle may leave you speechless. If this video opened your eyes, don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. Thank you. Now let's go to Seattle. You won't believe what's happening in Capitol Hill. It used to be the heart of Seattle. It was full of artists, students, and small business owners. But now people call it something else. They call it the lawless gray zone. It's a place where anything can happen. And nothing feels safe. Seattle used to be a big tech city. It had big companies and beautiful parks. Nature and city life lived together. But in Capitol Hill today, people don't feel safe. They don't even want to walk after dark. Every sidewalk has tents, trash, and broken stairs. People live there now. It used to be called the city's living room. Now it feels cold and closed. If you walk around Seattle, you'll see sad things. People using drugs at bus stops. Sidewalks that once had music now have people lying down. They look confused or in pain. Many small shops are closed. Signs say, "Closed because the area is not safe." The health department says about 70% of Capitol Hill and downtown Seattle have problems with homelessness and drugs. Police don't visit some parts unless there's an emergency. One delivery driver said he never turns off his car. Even for 2 minutes. He's too scared. Seattle makes almost $500 billion every year. But it still has places people call justice blind spots. Places where the law doesn't work. If this makes you worry, wait until you see the next city. In the next city, people fall down in the streets like zombies. The police say it feels like a maze with no way out. This place is called Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, there's a neighborhood called Kensington. But not for good reasons. Locals call it a humanitarian blind spot. People suffer there. And most people just walk by. Kensington used to be full of life. There were factories, workers, and families. But the factories closed. The neighborhood began to fall apart. A city that once gave people dreams is now full of sadness. If you walk there today, you might see someone sleeping on a manhole. They only have a sleeping bag. You might hear nothing but wind. The houses are empty. The streets are quiet. 1/3 of the people in Kensington don't have homes. Many also have health and mental problems. Even the police are having a hard time. One officer said, "We want to help, but we don't have enough people or a good system." Kensington doesn't just need homes. It needs hope. A community doesn't fall in one day. It falls slowly. When schools, hospitals, and safety go away. When people stop trusting each other. Even the daylight starts to feel dark. If Kensington is a place where too many people need help and no one can help them all, then the next city is worse. Even the police are stepping back. Not because they're busy, but because they're afraid. That city is Chicago. In some parts of West Chicago, police don't come unless you call 911. People are not surprised anymore. What scares them is how normal this feels. People are used to being alone. Windows are covered with wooden boards. Houses are for sale, but no one buys them. Homeless people and jobless teens stay where shops used to be. In 2023, crime went up by 23% in Westside Chicago. It was worse in areas with many homeless people. Some people say they can't remember the last time they heard a police siren. But the saddest thing is not crime. It's the feeling that the community is gone. One person said, "We used to help each other. Now it's just locked doors and fear." Chicago makes us think. Sometimes the worst loss isn't money. It's the feeling that you don't belong in your own home. Older people in Westside only take their grandkids outside when someone goes with them. Parks are empty and quiet. Swings are rusty. One old woman said, "I'm not afraid of noise, I'm afraid of silence." Have you lived in or visited Chicago? What do you love about it? Do you think Westside can get better if people care? Tell us in the comments. Chicago is a warning. But the next city has the same problem again and again. Like a bad dream that won't stop. That city is Phoenix. Phoenix was once a dream city in the desert. It had warm weather, cheap homes, and fast growth. Many older people moved there for a better life. But just a few blocks from the city center is a place called The Zone. It's like a small city made of tents. Almost 900 people live there. They live on hot streets with no real shelter. Last October, the city removed over 600 people from the zone. But just a few months later, tents came back. Like nothing had changed. People built fences from wood. They used tarps to block the sun. The temperature is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Every morning, people in Phoenix wake up. And they see the same thing. A tent city that no one knows how to stop. Some people in Phoenix now change their daily routes just to avoid going near the tent areas. 8 months after the city cleared the area called The Zone, more than 70% of the people came back or moved just nearby. A 73-year-old man living close by said, "Every night, I hear people screaming. I don't blame them. I just don't know if one night I'll get caught in the middle of it." What do you think truly helps end a tent city? Cleaning it up? Or helping people get back on their feet? Many people feel angry because this keeps happening again and again. If you clean up the mess but don't fix the cause, the same problem returns. One person said, "It feels like the city is only cleaning up to look good for the camera. A few weeks later, it all comes back, same story, new faces." Are we fixing the real problem or just hiding it? Should the solution be a short-term shelter? Or a real chance for people to start over? The problem with the zone is not just about the system failing. It's also about people not listening, not acting, and not believing that everyone deserves a second chance. What do you think makes a place like the zone last so long? Have you ever lived in Phoenix? What has your experience been? If Phoenix is a loop with no end, the next city feels like an underground world that never sleeps. Let's talk about New York. In New York, the subway trains don't just carry workers anymore, they carry thousands of homeless people who are lost and voiceless. New York's subway used to be famous for running 24/7. But now, many people would rather walk 30 minutes than go down to the platform. The subway used to be the heart of the city. Now it feels unsafe and unpredictable. Today, the most common sight in New York is not the lights or big ads, it's homeless people living in the subway cars. Some stations are like shelters now, they smell bad, and the sounds are strange or sad. People riding the train early in the morning sit far apart, hold their bags tightly, and avoid eye contact. Crime in the subway went up 47% from 2021 to 2023. Many of the incidents are related to mental health. Older people in New York now avoid the subway at night. They share their location with family and choose safer times to travel. A 70-year-old man said, "I used to tell my granddaughter to learn the subway. Now I say, go with a friend or don't go at night." Have you had a good or bad subway experience? Do you think this is just a short-term problem or part of something bigger? When even the people who run the subway feel unsafe, who can the riders trust? What would make the subway feel safe again? Not just better systems but more trust? If New York shows how unstable city life can be, the next city shows what happens under the highways where the forgotten people live. Let's go to Oakland. You can drive through Oakland without stopping, but you can't miss the rows of tents under the highways. Oakland was once a dream for many. It had cheaper homes, a relaxed lifestyle, and lots of art. But now, Oakland makes news for something else: tent cities that stretch for miles under bridges. The bridges connect the city, but they don't bring hope to the people living under them. In 2023, over 5,000 people in Oakland were homeless. Almost two-thirds of them lived in tents or cars. Many of these people had homes before, but rising rent forced them out. Along highways like 880 and 580, tents, boards, and tarps make small homes. At night, car headlights shine right on people trying to sleep. In the Fruitvale area, some parents don't let kids go outside after 6 p.m. A 71-year-old woman said, "I don't hate the people in tents. I'm just afraid something might happen. To them, to me, to the neighborhood." Have you ever driven through Oakland and seen the tents? Did you feel scared, sad, or just quiet? People say rescue services take a long time to reach the tent areas. The roads are blocked or the addresses don't exist. Those who need help most often wait the longest. Were highways, sidewalks, and bridges ever meant for people to live under? Or are they proof that modern cities forget those who don't fit the plan? What causes people who were once stable to end up under bridges? If you could help in a small way, what would you do? Oakland's tent areas are crowded. So what about the highways in the heart of America? Let's talk about Denver, our last city. Denver is not the biggest or richest city. But what's happening under its streets might surprise you. Just minutes from Denver's City Hall, tents have popped up under bridges. People call it out of control. Denver was once known as an open, welcoming city. Now, many people feel they must shut their hearts to get by. Under highway ramps like I-25 and Colfax, tents are packed closely. Some areas have toilets, kitchens, and trash cans made and managed by the homeless. People walking by take other paths. Not because they don't care but because they're afraid. From 2021 to 2023, the homeless population in Denver went up 31%. About 1,400 people live fully outside. Many of them once had jobs, homes, and good credit. Elderly residents in Capitol Hill avoid driving early or late, afraid of what might happen. A 70-year-old woman said, "I don't blame them, but I worry for myself and for this city." Last year, emergency workers were told to be careful before going into tent areas. There had been threats and sudden fights. If even rescue workers feel unsafe, who is helping the people inside? And who is protecting those outside? Denver has the money. But the trust and the plans are breaking. Like a half-finished bridge, something is missing. A city doesn't fall in one day. It fades when people feel like they don't belong anymore. Where do you think the real solution comes from? Better roads? Better schools? Or simple human kindness? Have you ever seen a tent city that changed the way you see your own neighborhood? We've just looked at 10 of the biggest cities in America. Not to admire tall buildings but to see the people we often overlook. From San Francisco to Denver, from New York's subway to Phoenix's streets, the story keeps repeating. People who were once safe lost everything after just one problem. Places that felt safe now feel dangerous. What used to be proud landmarks are now avoided by locals. But the saddest part? We're starting to get used to it. No one is born to live under bridges, in fear, or alone. And no one should feel like they're the only one who cares. Because when a community still listens, there's still hope. Have you ever lived in one of these cities? What changed the way you see life in the city? What do you think is the very first step to help the people who are suffering most? Let's talk in the comments. If you want to keep learning about these hidden sides of America with us with empathy and open eyes, please subscribe and turn on the bell. We'll keep sharing stories that are not meant to shock, to help us understand each other better. This video is to raise awareness. It does not blame anyone. All facts were taken from public sources. This is a human story from a human point of view.